From clever clapbacks at disrespectful comments,
You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
No, that's okay.
You big on the radio.
to calling out pseudo-intellectuals.
Can I tell you something, Bill? Most of the you say is not smart. It's just sort of obscure.
Here are Time's comedians' humiliated news anchors, starting off with Cat Williams, who didn't hold back with a radio host after she tried to make fun of his legal troubles.
You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, and getting out to tell you.
They like for me to, I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli, and they love my baked chicken.
Hey,
they
right now,
love-
look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli, and tell me does it say heat up water?
I am a great cook.
Aw.
Whatever.
Yes, ma'am, you good
Whatever.
at heating stuff up.
And when the host dared to make insensitive weight jokes about Cat Williams' girlfriends, the comedian showed her exactly why he's in that line of work.
If you can't get your blood pressure down, you can't call me down.
Whatever, little mama.
If your cholesterol is 600,
Whatever, little mama.
I'm Lil Mama's baby daddy.
No, you little mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
And what
girl.
are you, girl? You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
No, that's okay.
You big on the radio.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Russell Brand faced similar comments about his fashion sense and had to remind these news anchors of what everyone needed to focus on instead.
Beyond superficial, that's the problem with current affairs. You forget about what's important. You allow the agenda to be decided by superficial information. What am I saying? What am I talking about? Don't think about what I'm wearing. These things are redundant.
I'm distracted.
Superficial.
Okay.
Don't be distracted. What do you think that gesture means, the way you're touching that bottle? What does that indicate? What is that? What's the subtext of that?
We gotta go to break.
You need to lose that ring, Mika, because it don't mean nothing to you.
Russell might have been too honest, but during a rather political interview about Donald Trump with the anchor of CNN's The Source, Caitlin Collins, Stephen Colbert brutally delivered a satirical putdown, leaving the audience in laughter.
He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a. I know
That's supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
Ricky Gervais, on the other hand, had no such time for subtle jokes, and he rinsed Joy Behar's unfounded claims about some of his public statements.
Let me read one thing they thought was mean, and we'll decide whether it was mean or not, okay? Referring to Sex and the City 2, you said, I was sure the Golden Globe would go to the team that airbrushed that poster.
Yeah.
A little sexist.
No, it's not. Why is it sexist?
Well, because you're saying that the girls are older and they need to be airbrushed.
No, I think they look great at their age.
Oh.
Why hide it?
Oh.
I don't think that you lose your sensuality or your beauty because you hit 53. I'm saying, why are they hiding it?
Oh, I see.
At least Joy Behar came prepared with her questions, unlike this next news anchor who was underprepared during his interview with Kirsten Wiig and Bill Hader, promoting their latest movie.
Critics love it. It's a great film. Kristen, I am thinking on this program of doing the news completely full frontal, completely nude. Do you recommend that, and do you have advice for going nude?
Not this film.
movie. Not this film. Not this movie.
And when it became clear to the comic actors that the reporter hadn't actually seen the movie, they couldn't help but poke fun at him.
The movie you want to go see is called Skeleton Twins.
Skeleton Twins.
Kristen is fully clothed in it. I'm fully clothed in it. And it's...
It is a drama. It is a comedy.
And it is a comedy. And it's a very sweet film. And
Chris has not seen it.
Chris has not seen it.
Wait, I thought there were Muppets. There's no Muppets in this.
But I don't.
For heaven's sake.
This might have ended up in good humor, but Joan Rivers' 2014 interview with a CNN news anchor definitely didn't, as Rivers tried to defend much of the fashion criticism she dished out to fellow celebrities.
Fashion critiquing, while it's very mean in some ways, people can't wait to hear what you have to say. Really? It's not mean?
You can. It's not mean. I tell the truth. I'm sure.
You're not really worried about feelings being hurt.
Well, not when it's about dresses. It's not about them. It's about clothing.
And when the news anchor tried to criticize Joan's own fashion choices, the comedian promptly bit back.
But they also know that you have some shock value to you. I mean, on the cover of your book, you're wearing a fur, and you knew that there would probably be animal rights activists.
You know, this whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm talking.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear. You're wearing fur. You're wearing leather shoes.
I'm not an activist,
You're eating chicken.
Yeah.
You're eating meat. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Come to me with a paper belt, and I'll talk to you.
That same year, Chelsea Handler took a page out of Rivers' book when she called out Piers Morgan's short attention span and poor interviewing skills.
You tweet very amusingly.
I wish you did. I mean, in the middle of the commercial break, I want your viewers to know, they must know because they're probably following you on Twitter. I mean, you can't even pay attention for 60 seconds. You're a terrible interviewer.
Well, you just weren't keeping my attention. That's
Well,
more an issue
that's
for you
not
than
my
me.
problem.
Well, it is your problem.
This is your show. You have to pay attention to the guests that you invited on your
If
show.
they're interesting enough.
Yeah, they are. Listen, it doesn't matter how interesting I am. You signed up for this job.
Of course it does.
Well, maybe that's why your job is coming to an end.
But there were no laughs for Bill Burr when he smartly turned this reporter's questions on religion upside down, forcing her to squirm with discomfort.
Your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
two
I wanted to
episodes.
talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel
that's
you were
probably
being disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
But when Bill made comparisons about greater evils, the hosts suddenly wanted to move on.
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
well, they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
All right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think I want to.
I'm talking.
Similarly, this news anchor wished he hadn't tried to outsmart Kathy Griffin when she made her case about the lack of diversity in the comedy industry.
And by the way, I still do not have one single day of paid work ahead of me for the rest of my life. Now you tell me that's not because I'm a 58-year-old female in comedy. Yeah, take that, guys who make the decisions. But this movie's doing really well. It's winning awards.
58-year-old comedians that are working out there.
Are you? Name 5 women.
I'm not into the
I
comedy
thought so.
thing. Yeah.
What is this guy? What's with the new guy?
guy.
Look, the point is it's a male-dominated field, which I don't really want to hear your take on
We
that.
got guests here every day.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. But you should know your stats, though. Anyway, working in a male-dominated field is something where I deal with that sort of thing every day. So I spend most of my day trying to talk to older white guys and explain I just want to do what I do.
In another interview, it was the reporter who brought up the issue of diversity with Jerry Seinfeld and his hit show before getting schooled.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah,
that you've
let's
had.
get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something.
Even Piers Morgan brought up diversity when he tried to belittle the concerns of Jim Jeffries about a Muslim ban in the United States, but the comedian was having none of it.
There is no Muslim ban. If there was, 80... Sorry, why don't we... Okay. Okay. This is the point. This is a talk about the hysteria. I'm talking about 85% of the world's Muslims are allowed into the country.
This is what you do, Piers. You say, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that, he's not going to do all these things. Give him a chance, mate. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Hitler didn't kill the Jews on the first day. He worked up to it.
Meanwhile, when Tucker Carlson tried to criticize Jon Stewart's interviewing skills, Stewart made sure he stayed in his lane.
I think you're a good comedian. I think your lectures are boring. Let me ask you a question on the news.
Now, this is theater. I mean, it's obvious.
No,
how old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So this is...
No, I know.
So
You're right. No, let me just go. No, come on.
And listen, I'm not suggesting that you're not a smart guy, because those are not easy to tie. But the thing is that you're doing theater when you should be doing debate, which would be great.
And while these comedians didn't hold back against disrespect, Bobby Lee handled news anchors in the most polite of ways.
So we never know exactly what our next guest is going to do when he kind of roars through our studio.
Yes, you know Bobby Lee from Mad TV. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. And this weekend he'll be in the Chicago area at the Improv.
However, they certainly did not expect these comments.
You and I should do a movie, Rush Hour 4. If we're going to go racial.
I get to be
Rush Hour 4 in space.
I get to be
That's going to be wonderful, right? You're not in it. You're out. We wrote you out of the script.
I'm Jewish.
Oh,
You
you
gotta
are?
find a place for me. Yeah. Oh,
But you
okay.
you can produce it.
We're also working on a movie called Rush Hour 4.
Yes.
Where we don't solve any crimes. We just eat donuts and stuff, right?
Okay.
But unlike Bobby Lee, Bill Burr doesn't do polite, especially when someone tries to outsmart him. And unfortunately for Bill Maher, he had to find that out the hard way.
I just think it's gauche. But yeah.
Go again with the big words. What does gauche mean? I've heard the word.
Can always talk Beatles, and yes, they always. One reason they are prima inter pares among rock gods is that they.
I've never heard all of those words. Was that 3 words? Was that 2 words?
But as Maher continued to show off, Bill Burr let him know just what he thought of him.
And he lived in her parents' apartment in the garret for like 3 years in the middle of London. I'm not making this up.
What's the garret?
The garret is like an attic, like, you know, the top of the apartment.
Well, we're in California. You can just say attics. Can I tell you something, Bill? Most of the you say is not smart. It's just sort of obscure.
It's not obscure to a certain percentage of people. I'm
people
not,
that are at
I'm
your
not some
altitude.
giant egghead. I'm just
I know you're not that smart.
Surprisingly, Maher got off easy with Bill Burr, unlike this next host who tried to bait the comedian with a gender-related question.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course.
Some people have a hard time saying yes, though. There's a lot of angry young men on the internet that are like, women can't be funny.
Will you guys just grow up and just sit down and write your own horse, come up with it? Start your own show, have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do for you. That's the problem. If you guys had your own big club and I was standing outside of it, you'd never let me in. I'd start my own You guys got to start your own. You got brains in there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So write your own and quit your whining. We're all eating a giant sandwich out here. Nobody cares. I don't care.